Hello everyone, this is Gene from NYC again. I'm back with another video. So the first order of business will be to welcome the new subscribers I have gained, not just the new ones, but everybody. Whether you've been here from the beginning or whether you just subscribed, I hope that you continue to enjoy the content. So, what is the content for tonight's video? The content for tonight's video is the Charlie's Angels 2019 trailer. So I just watched it, and I also watched the trailers for the Charlie's Angels reboot in 2000, and then Charlie's Angels 2000. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. My apologies. The sequel film was Charlie's Angels 2000, which came out. I keep getting the name wrong. Charlie's Angels Full Throttle. The sequel film was Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, which came out in 2003. See, this is what I mean. I'm very tired, so I apologize if I misspeak. So I compared those two trailers, the one from 2000 and from 2003, to this new trailer, and I wanted to figure out why I enjoyed those two trailers so much, but why I disliked. Well, perhaps dislike is too strong a word. Why I was not particularly impressed, I should say, by the 2019 trailer. First of all, there are people saying, and they're entitled to their opinions, but I've seen a few reviews saying that the 2019 trailer is woke. I don't see that. I don't think it's a great trailer, and I don't think it's a good trailer for Charlie's Angels, but I don't see particularly where it's woke or where it's, insulting men. There's only one part that doesn't really make sense to me, and that's when she says, at least one of them says, "Don't call me Angel," and then a few seconds later, the trailer ends with the classic "Good morning, Angels," "Good morning, Charlie" line. So I didn't quite understand that, but outside of it, I really don't see where the trailer was quote-unquote woke. Now, that being said, I don't think the trailer was all that good. I think it's at best a C. It's mediocre. And when I watched the trailers for Charlie's Angels from 2000 and then 2003 and compared it to 2019, I finally figured out why I was so unimpressed with 2019, with the 2019 trailer. Because the 2019 trailer, to me, goes against everything that Charlie's Angels is about. What it's about thematically, what it's about stylistically. And what Charlie's Angels, at least from that period, I can't speak for the 1970s, but what Charlie's Angels represents to me, when we talk about the early 2000s films, is that it was incredibly feminine. It wasn't just three female action heroes. These were three girly girls who happened to be secret agents. And that's what the two trailers, especially the first one, really emphasized. It really took the chick flick format, right? It's featuring it's featuring these three different types of women, right? And it just really reveled in the femininity of it all, right? There's one scene in the first trailer where they're skydiving and LL Cool J is skydiving and Lucy Liu is skydiving, and then they land in a boat and you see that Cameron Diaz is in a bikini, and then Lucy Liu pops up into the scene, and there's this close-up of her face. The camera's behind her, but there's this close-up shot of her, and she's taking off her helmet, and she's whipping her hair, and everything slows down, and it's the dramatic hair whip, like she's in a shampoo commercial. That, to me, is what Charlie's Angels, thematically speaking, is about. It's about being the complete opposite of the macho, testosterone-driven, as a motorcycle passes by the window. Anyway, It's the complete opposite of the macho, testosterone-driven action film. They are not traditional action heroes, right? They're not Ripley, they're not Sarah Connor, they're not Xena. And I don't say that to be insulting to any of those characters. I love those three characters. But they are a distinct thematic type of female heroine. They're the masculine female heroine. They're the tomboy female heroine, right? You take, for example, Sarah Connor, that iconic scene where she double pumps the shotgun with one hand, right? Everything about Sarah Connor as a character, the way she looks, the way she behaves, right, the way she fights, is distinctly masculine. And Charlie's Angels is supposed to be the very opposite of all that. It's supposed to be very, I would say, pretty, right? It's supposed to be very stylized. It's supposed to be humorous, right? It's supposed to be a wink and a nod at everything, at whatever action tropes are popular at the time. But it's all supposed to be in this, pretty pink, feminine package, right? With a little pretty pink bow on it. That's what I think of when I think of Charlie's Angels. And what this new trailer misses, with the exception of the beginning scene, is all of that. It misses all of the femininity. It misses all of the fun, right? It comes across to me, again, sans the beginning scene, which to me, although it has its flaws, it's actually the best scene in the trailer. It comes across very much like a typical action film, right? It doesn't have that, sort of fun, adventurous vibe. It has this very serious tone to it, right? It doesn't come across, for example, as a comedy or something where you would laugh, right? Even the colors that are chosen, right? I wouldn't say it's very dark, but I would just say there's just this sort of, damp, dreary gray tone to it, which I guess, again, they're trying to make it seem maybe be a little more serious. But that's the thing about Charlie's Angels. It's not serious. It's supposed to be fun and engaging and exciting, and you're supposed to laugh at all of these crazy tropes, whether it's the wire foo, whether it's blowing stuff up. It's supposed to be a wink and a nod and sort of, playfully making fun of all that. It's not really supposed to play into those tropes. Right, so let me go on to what I think is the best scene and the worst scene of the trailer. The best scene, as I've said, is the opening scene. Why? Because it's very feminine, right? It's a man and a woman on a date. They're both in very nice clothing, right? She's using her feminine wiles and the promise of sex to seduce him. That's distinctly feminine. That's why it works. That's why it's the most Charlie's Angels moment of the trailer, because she is using her feminine wiles and his lust against him. The one part where I think they get it wrong is where she starts actually fighting him, right? She restrains him in what looks like cloth or bedcloth or something. I'm guessing there was the promise of some 50 Shades-esque type of kink, but she turned it around on him. I'm totally fine with that. That, I think, is the best part. But then when she starts fighting him, right, it's not the fact that she fights him, because there was plenty of fighting and wire fu and shifu and martial arts in the early 2000s films, but it's the way she fights him. She throws these elbows into his face, and there's one point where she headbutts him. I would have only accepted the headbutt if they had played it for laughs. She headbutts him, and then they both come sort of separate days, and then she's like, "Ow, my head!" Right? If you sort of played it for laughs, at least it would have been funny. But they don't do that, right? She just rears back and she comes forward and she headbutts him. That's a distinctly violent, primal, and again masculine way of fighting. And if this were not Charlie's Angels, it would be just fine. It would be perfectly fine. If this trailer did not have the Charlie's Angels moniker, I think it would be a fine trailer for, a female action hero team type thing. But it does have the Charlie's Angels moniker. And that type of aggressive, violent, primal fighting doesn't really fit in the image that Charlie's Angels is remembered for. Charlie's Angels was very polished and it was very glamorous. And they try to bring, I don't know about the polish, but they do try to bring the glamour in toward the end of the trailer. They try to play up the whole, feminine thing. Girls love clothes and shoes and all this other stuff. But it's too little too late. Right? So, with the exception of the way she fights the guy, I think that the opening scene of the trailer is the best one. The worst part is the scene where several of the angels, of course, when I'm recording, the outside world wants to be noisy. But anyway, there's this one scene in the trailer where several of the girls are in a car and there's a car chase, and one of the girls cocks a pistol, and then there's a cut, and then she's seen standing up in the sky roof of the car, and she's got this big gun and she's firing at their pursuers. That is the most dude-tastic thing you can do in an action flick, is to have the firing out the car scene. And it just doesn't fit for the Charlie's Angels. Any other film, it would be fine. If you put Sarah Connor in that car and you don't call it Charlie's Angels, I'm with that 100% of the way. It's an awesome scene. But again, when you have Charlie's Angels, and one of the distinct and unique features of Charlie's Angels is that it's a bunch of feminine women, right, who happen to be action heroes. When you have them do something that macho, again, it just doesn't fit. It clashes thematically. So that was the worst scene in my opinion. But for me, overall, the trailer for Charlie's Angels, the best way I can say is that I view it in two different lights. As a trailer, it's okay. I could do without the washed out colors, and I do wish there had been a little more visual, just a little more visual eye candy, right? There's explosions here and there, but believe it or not, with the exception of the explosions, nothing really stands out. Nothing really pops. Nothing made me go, ooh, oh, that's so cool. And then again, looking back at the original trailers, like the first trailer, especially the first trailer, that's my favorite from start to finish. Everything is just action. Everything is big and bright and colors and explosion. It's it's just a visual feast in my opinion. Whereas this one, it's very toned down visually with the colors and all that stuff. Because again, I think they're trying to be more serious, but the last place I would think you want to be serious is a Charlie's Angels film. But that's me. So again, I think as a regular standard film, minus the washed out colors and the lack of visual attractiveness, I don't quite know how to describe it. I don't think it's bad. If it were any other film, I would probably say it's a solid trailer. But it's not any other film. It's Charlie's Angels. And thematically speaking, this is the polar opposite of Charlie's Angels. It's a bunch of tomboys in a movie, and that is not Charlie's Angels. So as a Charlie's Angels trailer, I think this is bad. So overall, I give it a C. It's mediocre. I really don't consider it to be Charlie's Angels. But at the same time, It didn't terribly annoy me, and again, I don't see where the supposed wokeness is. But again, it's not a terribly great trailer. It's meh, it's a C. So anyway, those are my thoughts. On a somber note, if you're part of the fandom menace, you probably know this, but if you're not, Anna, that Star Wars girl, her sister has gone missing in California. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Odin's Movie Blog, Mecha Random 42, Anna herself naturally. They've all been doing videos and covering it. So I would suggest checking out their videos. Anna's done a live stream. I would especially being that it's her sister who's missing. I would say to check out her videos first. But the big names in the fandom menace, have come together to support her, which is good. But I just wanted to mention that, just in case if anybody's in the California area, or even if you're not, you never know where you can run into somebody. People travel. I really feel for Anna because first, just as a person, right? I mean, her family member, right, has gone missing, but in particular, it's her younger sister, right? And I'm an older sister, right? I have a younger brother, and I would go mad. I don't know. I would be beside myself. Despite everything I've been through this year thus far, I think that if my brother suddenly went missing, I would literally try to move heaven and earth to find him. It's like, it doesn't matter that he's an adult. I'm still his big sister. I will be his big sister until my heart stops beating. And if anything happened to him, I'd be beside myself, and I'd be probably wrecking a lot of things and maybe some people. But anyway, I just wanted to just share that. If you're in the Cali area, especially around, again, check out her videos on it. But if you know anything, you hear anything, as we say here in New York City, if you see something, say something. So I just wanted to just give my support and put that out there. So I hope you all are happy, healthy, safe,